Welcome to PeaceTV. We will update the hottest military news today.
Battles intensify in eastern Ukraine. As she says, ceasefire is top priority for China. Beijing has claimed neutrality on the war in Ukraine, but has not condemned Russia's invasion and instead bolstered its economic and diplomatic ties with Moscow over the past year. Intense battles in eastern Ukraine. The most intense battles are raging for Bakhmut, Avdiivka and Marinka in eastern Ukraine, with Ukrainian troops focused on the battered city of Bakhmut to try to exhaust the Russians. The Ukrainian military said Thursday Ukrainian forces repelled more than 20 Russian attacks. Over the last 24 hours, the military said in an evening update, no concessions on Crimea. Ukrainian officials say senior Ukrainian officials insisted that Kyiv will make zero territorial concessions in its fight against Russia, following remarks from a deputy in the Ukrainian president's office about the future of Crimea. In comments first reported Wednesday by the Financial Times, Andriy Sybiha said if a Ukrainian counter-offensive pushed Russian forces back to the administrative border with Crimea, we are ready to open diplomatic page to discuss this issue. Russian shelling left 7 people hurt in the Kherson region of southern Ukraine on Thursday evening. The head of the regional military administration said on Telegram, the strikes hit a series of communities along the Dnipro River, near the city of Berislav, according to the official, Alexander Prokudin. 6 people were wounded when a drone dropped explosives on the village of Zmivka, Prokudin said, and another person was hurt in the nearby settlement of Kazotsky. Medical workers provided emergency treatment and will eventually transfer the injured civilians to a hospital in the larger city of Kherson. According to the regional leader, Russian court will hear US reporter's arrest appeal on April 18th. State media says a Moscow court on April 18th will hear an appeal filed by lawyers of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich against his arrest, Russian state media said, citing the court. Gershkovich is currently being held in a pre-trial detention center at the notorious Lefortovo prison until May 29. He faces up to 20 years in prison on espionage charges. Russian prosecutors seek maximum 25-year prison term. For Kremlin critic, prosecutors have asked a Moscow court to sentence Kremlin critic Vladimir Kara-Murza to 25 years in prison for criminal offenses that include treason, spreading fakes about the Russian army, and facilitating activities of an undesirable organization. Russian state news agency RIA Novosti reported on Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin on April 6th had a meeting with the leaders of the separatist regions in eastern Ukraine, giving instructions in the context of the complicated military situation. In Moscow, Putin had a meeting with Denis Pushilin, leader of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic DPR, and Leonid Pasychnik, leader of the self-proclaimed Lugansk People's Republic LPR. Donetsk and Lugansk are two pro-Russian separatist regions. In eastern Ukraine, Russia announced the annexation of the 2 regions of Donetsk, Lugansk and Kherson and Zaporizhia regions after a referendum in September 2022. At the meeting, Putin listened to the concerns of the separatist leaders. Pushilin mentioned that Ukraine regularly shelled the capital Donetsk and areas controlled by the separatists. Mr. Putin said, our goal is to push the Ukrainian army to a safe distance, enough that they can no longer threaten the breakaway regions, the Russian president said, adding that the urgent issue needed to be resolved, according to the news agency TASS. The US investigates the leak of top-secret documents. On the Ukraine war, the Pentagon is investigating the leak of data, including classified documents on plans to assist Kiev, and an assessment of the state of Ukraine's military. US media previously reported that a series of documents drafted in early March, including documents stamped top secret, appeared on social networks Twitter and Telegram this week. The documents show the timeline of Ukraine's arms aid, the strength of troops and battalions, as well as the training progress of Kiev's 12 new brigades, with an estimated total number of 50,000 to 60,000 men. The document does not provide a specific operational plan such as when and where Ukraine might launch a counter-offensive. However, experts warn that they can bring many clues to the Russian military and intelligence, because a lot of information has never been released by the US, such as the bullet consumption rate of the HIMARS rocket systems in the past. Ukrainian payroll. The leak could damage US-Ukrainian intelligence relations, given that Kiev has provided only a small amount of classified reports and details of combat plans, to the point that US intelligence officials say they understand the situation of Russian forces better than Ukraine. They also said that Ukraine must defend long enough and prevent Russia from controlling more territory before receiving a new series of advanced Western weapons, including main battle tanks, infantry fighting vehicles and artillery.